and welcome back to the Keys to Therapy. Today's episode is all about why I think you should have your fees listed on your website. So, this can be kind of a controversial topic for some therapists, and I'm not really sure why because I'm very much of the idea that it's your business, you run it how you want, but everybody's got an opinion on something. So, I'm giving my opinion because it's my platform on why I think you should have your fees on your website, but just know ultimately that if you decide not to because you have your own way of selling services or you have your own beliefs behind that, then absolutely go forward with that. So I just kind of wanted to explain my rationale behind it, and maybe somebody who's on the fence about whether they should or should not include their fees on their website can use this to make a decision either way and help them out. So let's get to it. Now, when you are in private practice, if you're taking insurance, you can set a private pay fee because you may have private pay clients that come through. But ultimately, insurance is going to decide how much you get paid per contract. But if you're private pay, you absolutely are going to have some sort of section on your website regarding payment. And that's especially where I think that fees need to be listed. So again, you can have a private pay rate. I know plenty of people who take insurance and they have a few clients that are private pay. And so I would say the same thing for them too, but I think it's even more needed for people who are strictly private pay because they won't know your fees otherwise, where they could probably call their insurance and learn more about that if you're an insurance provider. But yeah, so people's thoughts on that differ. I've seen a lot of therapists over the years say things like, oh, well, I think that you shouldn't have them on your website because you don't want that to deter people. I would rather people see all the services, see my experience, have a consult call with me or do the intake, and then we go through with the fees because I think I could sell them on it better if they understand me and what I do before they know the amount. And I hear that. And again, if that works for the types of clients you see or your business model, that's fine. The other argument, which is the one that I subscribe to, is I want full transparency of my fees. So I think it's very helpful to put them on your website for many reasons that I'll get into. So ultimately, for the first one, I think it's really helpful if clients are searching for therapists, they're probably not in the best headspace. They're probably going through something, or they know they're about to go through something and they're trying to get ahead of it, or they're just in a space where they're like, I really want somebody to talk to and I really would like some help. So they're on this journey of already finding people, which can be really exhausting because between Google searches and different directories and potentially calling insurances and seeing who's in network and all the different ways that people, social media, all the different ways people are trying to find a therapist, it can be really overwhelming because so many of us probably sound kind of the same. And a lot of clients often don't know enough about like the diagnoses or the lingo or the training to know even sometimes what they're really looking for. So they may be reaching out to tons of therapists to try to figure out if that person's a good fit for them or not. I've also seen some clients who have only reached out to one because it was so overwhelming. They were like, I'm just going to start with this one and see what happens. So if they're on this hunt for finding somebody, I think that they're probably already a little stressed. And so having your fees on your website can make that entire process a lot quicker, right? They can immediately look at it and be like, they don't take my insurance, I can't afford that fee. Or, that's okay, that fee is better than what I thought it might be, or that's within the budget that I've set for what therapy is going to cost. So there's tons of different ways of them potentially looking at it. So to me, I think it's a time saver for the client to be able to just look and immediately say like a yes or no. Even potentially a maybe, but for the most part, it's going to be a quick yes or no if they have to use insurance or they have this fee in mind of like, I can't pay any more than $150 or whatever it is. So that helps their search. I think the other part of it, obviously, is it saves us time. It saves me a ton of time to have my fees on my website because there's people who probably click on it, and if they knew that they had to use insurance and I don't personally take insurance, then they're able to just go ahead and find somebody else right away. So I think that that saves me time because I'm not constantly getting inquiries where people are saying things like, well, how much is a session? Or what do you charge? Or what are your fees? Or stuff like that, because they can just go on the website and see it directly for themselves. So that cuts down on a lot of admin time for me for clients who I'm not their fit anyway in the financial category right now. So I think it's really great because I'm busy and I don't have an admin person. It's just me running the whole thing. So it's really nice to be able to have that up there and it answers the question for them. I'm not getting flooded with all of those emails about fees. So that's big. The other piece of that is, as a business owner, posting your fees helps you stay accountable to them. Now, there's a lot of therapists who sometimes struggle with the money aspect of our field because most of us weren't taught anything about business or money in our education. At least not for us, maybe services for clients. So, maybe stuff about, community services that they can use or things they can apply for, stuff that might be financially beneficial to them, but not necessarily anything that's financially beneficial to us. So I think a lot of therapists struggle, especially when they start their own business, with that money mindset piece. So if you have your fees posted, you're kind of holding yourself accountable to them because you've made it public that this is what you're charging. So if you have any of those doubts, just know like they're on your website in black and white. And sometimes that's the thing that helps people stick with it and not suddenly start giving sliding scales to every client that comes in or negotiating your rates all the time or stuff like that. You have it in black and white on your website. It is what it is. So I think sticking with that can be very, very helpful. The other piece is having that full transparency of here's my fee, here's what I charge. It kind of can set the tone for therapy too, because the client knows that you're pretty upfront with stuff. Hey, here's what I do. Here's the hours I work. I love having that on there too. Here's the days I see people and here's what I charge. If you want to book, here's how you move forward with that. I think it makes the process super clean cut for them. It makes it streamlined, and I think it helps them understand you before they've even met you, to know that you are the type of person to lay all of that out for clients and just be more transparent anyway. So I think that that really does set a tone for the relationship, because their relationship starts the second that they're on your website or the second they're booking your consult call, if you offer that. So I think that's really, really helpful in that regard too. And the last thing is, like I was talking about the money mindset part, if you put your fee on your website, it helps you feel more confident about it over time, because clients can then talk to you and reference it. Oh, I saw that you charge $140 for a session, or I don't know, whatever else the thing, like, oh, I saw that you have a few sliding scale spots. Are those still available? Things like that you've already put up there. So I think it sometimes can help you feel more confident talking about what these fees are and what that pay structure is like for you, because you've put it out there. You've published the website, you've put your fee. And this especially goes for if you've changed your fee and now you charge something higher. It can bring up a lot of imposter syndrome and just, like, I don't know, cause people to struggle a lot with that. So if it's on your website, I think sometimes it's like you're claiming it, right? Like, this is what I charge for my services. And that can give you a little bit of a boost when you're having some of those conversations about money too. And know too, if you put your fee on your website, there's going to always be somebody that's like, how much do you charge? Or in the intake being like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize you didn't take my insurance, or whatever the situation is. So it's not like it weeds everybody out, because like I said, some people are stressed and they're just hurrying up and being like, this sounds like me, on your intro page without having looked at some of the other ones. But for the most part, a lot of clients will look through all of that and let you know what they think about it. So yeah, so those are the reasons why I think that the fee should be on the website. Honestly, if it saves them time and it saves you time, that's a huge one. If it helps you be more confident and really own your fee, that's amazing too. So I think there's a lot of pieces to that can be really helpful in your work, especially if you're new to the business side of things and you're new to money conversations with clients. I think it can be awesome. So that's my 2 cents. Again, your business model. Do what works best for you. I've seen some people say that they don't want the fees on there, right? Like they would rather, kind of like I was talking about earlier, they'd rather just go ahead and meet the person and then have a conversation about their fees so they can more further explain why it is what it is. And maybe that seems a little weird to do on a website for some of them. So I get that. But I know for me personally, I don't do anything, like even booking a restaurant reservation, if I'm looking at the menu and I don't see some of the fees. I don't say the costs of things. Most of the time I'm not really going to move forward. Or even like getting your hair cut or like stuff like that. It's like I don't want to go in blind because I know I've been blindsided before with different services. So I really don't want that to happen. You know, you go in for one thing and then all of a sudden you get a bill for something crazy and you're like, what is this? So I think for me, that's like my value system is like full transparency. So I think it would be really nice to be able to put that on your website. But again, your business model. So I gave you the reasons why. Do what you want with that. If you want to share a little bit about your reasons why or why not you have your fees posted in the comments, that would be great. So hopefully this was insightful for you, gave you some ideas either way. But if you can subscribe below, that helps me out. That helps me put out more content and hopefully get it seen a little bit more. And I also have an email list and a Facebook group. So all the links for that are below. So hopefully I see you all soon. Thanks. Bye.